Even amidst the significant strong demand for FANG companies, there are still a large number of people who decline offers from FANGs or do not even choose to apply to these companies and choose smaller companies or startups. Let's find out why in this video. Hi folks, welcome back to my channel where I talk about life and careers in tech beyond software engineering. If you're new here, my name is Divya Thakkar and I'm a program manager lead at Google, and I've mentored dozens of people to get their dream job, and I'm going to do the same for you through this channel. Last time we spoke about reasons why people want to join FANG companies. Check out that video if you already haven't. For this video, I actually spoke to my friends and colleagues who had recently left these organizations or declined offer from FANG companies to go to some other organization. And here are the things that I found. Number one, ability to move fast. I think it goes without saying that people who have a knack for moving things fast might not enjoy the culture of FANG companies. Many of these companies have significant processes and approval chains that are needed to launch any particular project or product. Additionally, there's a lot of due diligence that's followed for launching every new feature or product or project. And for people who wanted to move from their ideas into reality, this was not the most appealing thing, and that's the reason they did not prefer FANG companies. As someone who works in FANG, I realize the importance of having such due diligence, but I also recognize that it's not really for everyone. A lot of the FANG companies actually started with a startup-like culture where they were moving things fast and learning on the way. But at the scale and the influence at which these companies operate, that kind of due diligence is now required, and some people just do not prefer that kind of approval process, and due diligence followed for every single thing that they're doing. Number two, process. On the lines of moving things fast, FANG companies actually have a well-defined process, set of protocols. It's a well-oiled machinery for doing certain number of things. And that can feel like red taping for many people, and the reason they do not prefer FANG companies. Many ideas would have been tried in the past, and there might not be appetite for certain themes of ideas that have not worked in the past. Processes are not just dependent on your own teams, but also from various cross-functional teams who can actually approve or decline your launch, or also suggest significant number of edits or changes which would get you back to the drawing board. For example, if you're at a ride-sharing company and you're about to propose a feature that would inherently change the way in which incentives are provided to drivers, and which is not aligned with the company policy, that might not go well in spite of the large case that you make. Number three, products you don't believe in. As influential and powerful these companies are with products that reach millions or even billions of people, there are some people who do not fundamentally or intellectually agree with the premise of their products or services. In that case, with a philosophical or an intellectual disagreement, it might be very hard for some people to work in these companies that still serve those products, and hence people might not prefer to join these companies. I completely respect that actually, because I feel like having an intellectual and a philosophical connection with the product or service that you're working on is really critical for your overall well-being and work satisfaction. Number four, tech stack. This is a bit surprising because FANG companies are at the forefront of advances in computer science, especially recently in fields of machine learning and artificial intelligence. However, people mention that these tech stacks could be limiting sometimes and get them out of touch with the external world because FANG companies use their own legacy infrastructure, which might not be the ones that the external world is using. And this was very critical for many people because they wanted to have a generalizable set of engineering skills which would translate well even when they step out into world outside of FANG. Number five, culture. While FANG's laid-back liberal culture was a big draw for many people to work in these companies, some people preferred the hustle culture in startups where they felt like they could grow much faster, and hence they preferred to work in companies where things were much more fast-moving, very dynamic, and just like hustle culture, right? And that's why they preferred those companies. Some people mention that while there have been significant public commitments from FANG companies to diversify their workforce, we are still far from the ideal scenario even if you're seeing incremental gains. And hence some people chose to work in companies which were much more diverse. And I completely agree with that because diverse teams are critical to the success of any organization. Number six, greater influence. A lot of people mention that if you're not a senior employee in a FANG company, it's very difficult for you to take critical business and technical decisions. And they sought to increase the amount of decision-making power that they had, and they hence felt like moving to a startup or a smaller company was in their best interest. Being able to take decisions and influence a wide number of charters across business, technical, and strategic objectives was a big draw for people to not join FANG companies and actually go to startups where they felt like they'd have a lot more decision-making power, which would also help them make things move faster. Greater influence was very critical for people who also wanted to start their own companies a few years down the road, and this path in startups or smaller companies would prepare them to being a founder or a co-founder themselves in the future. In spite of these reasons, there continues to be a demand among FANG companies, and a lot of people choose to go to other companies. As I keep saying time and again on my channel, careers are very, very personal decisions, and you are the one who owns your career. And choose a company that is aligned with your interest, values, and aspirations. Do your own research and take an informed decision. If you thought that was helpful, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel.